Happy 4th of July, everybody, from Philadelphia. This is the Ritz, according to Philadelphia. Not that ritzy, but that's all right. It's the city of brotherly love. Just like New Jersey, I sometimes have a little bit of a tendency to make fun of Philadelphia. Oh no, are we not live? It's always a harrowing moment for me. There it is. All right, so what I was going to say is, like New Jersey and Staten Island, which previously I have made fun of and everything, Philadelphia is one of those cities that if you're from New York, you crack on Philadelphia. But I've said it many times before, like a younger brother, if somebody else picks on it, you can't do that. And Philly is actually very cool. I like Philadelphia quite a bit. I don't know it very well, so I think I'm right around the corner from Independence Hall here, and it's been raining off and on today in Philly. It's interesting, a lot of people get pissed off when there's no Sunday with Charles, and I appreciate that. Hey, one of these new Ford Broncos, look at that. That's not the fancy retro one that's coming pretty soon, but it's still pretty interesting. People get real upset. I don't mean to interrupt the Instagram shoot. Get people taking Instagram pictures there. People get upset when there's no Sunday with Charles. People get upset when they can't find the show. I want to make sure that everybody knows Crowdsource the Truth has been knocked out of the box so many times. We're up to Crowdsource the Truth 5 on YouTube. Oh yeah, and Rumble. I just found out that Rumble has an app. Oh, I didn't put it on the phone. I have it on the iPad. But Rumble has an app, and if you look for CS the Truth, if you go to rumble.com, and if you Google either Crowdsource the Truth or CS the Truth, you're going to get right to it. I'm pretty excited about this Rumble platform. People can watch on Rumble. I think a lot of people want to get away from YouTube. YouTube has been, smashing Crowdsource the Truth for some time. And so perhaps watching on Rumble might be a good way to combat that. Of course, it's always great if people want to become sponsors on patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth or subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth. If you haven't been to Philadelphia, one of the coolest things about it is it's old as hell from United States standpoint. This is, a city that has so much great history. Oh yeah, and I also need to let people know that I'm starting at a bit of a disadvantage in terms of battery power. This phone only had 76% power. I was charging it up until the last moment, but I felt that was kind of appropriate, 76% battery power, as we commemorate our independence 245 years ago on 1776. And see, the issue with Philadelphia is that it has fallen, unfortunately, into something of a dilapidated state. I should know more about it, to tell you the truth, but this says founded AD, let's see if I can remember my Roman numerals, MDCCXCV. I think it's going to hurt my brain to try to figure that out now, but it was a long time ago. And it would be nice if, we could restore a building like this. This is the Museum of the American Revolution. Could be a cool place to visit. But, damn it, I'm getting a little turned around. I'm pretty sure the Independence Hall is right around here. And the reason I wanted to come out tonight was, first of all, to let people know that everything is all right. I'm getting a lot of messages. Where is Sunday with Charles? People can go to the Sunday with Charles YouTube channel now and catch up on some of the old Sunday with Charles shows. It's also a great place where you can watch the simulcasts of new episodes of Sunday with Charles. And maybe people will plan a vacation and come to Philadelphia. I feel like wherever I walk in Philadelphia, I'm always coming to Chestnut Street, which reminds me of that guy Joey Chestnut who eats all the hot dogs. Oh yeah, that's on 4th of July. So, I don't know, maybe that dude ate a ton of hot dogs. And then there was also a Japanese guy who was winning that contest for a while. Was that Kobayashi? I don't know how you can eat 54 hot dogs and not become extremely sick immediately or go to the hospital or something like that. But here's a building from 1872. And there's a lot of cool stuff like that. In many ways, as I walk around Philadelphia, I feel like it's some kind of way, it's sort of a cross between New York and Washington, D.C. I don't know. There's a lot of history here. And tomorrow, this is what I wanted to tell everybody. So tomorrow, Larry Klayman and his excellent team at Freedom Watch is putting on, and I'm helping them, of course, putting on the Third Continental Congress, and people will be able to watch that on all the various YouTube channels that we host that type of stuff on. I have created a new Citizens Grand Jury YouTube channel. People can watch on Freedom Watch on YouTube. This is going to be a bit of a tricky thing because, you know, there's a lot of speakers who are coming to the event, and, you know, I never know what people are going to say, and sometimes those people, particularly like, you know, fancy lawyers and people who are, you know, military or all, you know, there's all kinds of different people who are coming to this thing, and they don't necessarily know the rules of YouTube, and they have a tendency to speak their minds, which they should, but because of the crappiness of YouTube, they don't want free speech. It's not even, oh, we're going to lose the First Amendment. It's gone. You cannot speak freely. Now, I'm getting a little turned around here. Do you guys know where Independence Hall is? It's right down there, right?
Straight down that way.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. I don't know where I'm going. In Philadelphia is the problem, but I'm pretty sure it's down here. And I have no idea how to find my way in Philadelphia. One of the things that's kind of good about me making videos in New York is that I can kind of be plopped down almost anywhere in New York and know, you know, where to go. Not true here in Philadelphia, but look at this. They got a fancy Renaissance hotel right here. There's a new Renaissance hotel in New York as well. That's a Marriott brand, Renaissance. So they seem to own almost every single hotel. This is a bank. That building looks solid as hell. If you're thinking of a bank, that's it. Is it still a bank? It's the Philadelphia Bank. Now it's the bank building, so I bet you there's probably offices and things in there. I know virtually nothing about Philadelphia. Oh, this is the second bank. So I guess they were doing so well in that location across the street, they opened this one. There it is. Yeah, I knew it was right down here. Anybody who knows Philadelphia will be like, Jason, you're a dope. You're a block away from Independence Hall and you don't know where it is. But this is where the event is going to be happening tomorrow, and I hope that people will join us for that. You can still get tickets to it and everything if you go to freedomwatchusa.org. You can go on there and there's a thing. I got Larry here in the Continental Congress depicted as George Washington. He's leading it, obviously, so, you know, people can go to Freedom Watch, as I said. Click on that banner down there that says join the Third Continental Congress. It's going to be really exciting. There's a long list of great speakers and presenters. I believe the sheriff has arrived. Sheriff Joe Arpaio is already here. Also Charles Woods, Gold Star father, one of the fallen heroes of Extortion 17. He's a super nice guy, Charles Woods. And it's just a great opportunity for people to get together and learn about the Constitution, learn about the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence, and just basically what the founding of the country was all about, and, you know, reflect on how it's changed and what we can do to kind of get back to what America is supposed to be about. The fact that you can't debate ideas in a public forum on YouTube, or if you say a particular thing, or if you challenge particular things, you know, they don't want you saying anything about that thing that happened back in November. I mean, that is just, it's so contrary to what the founding fathers stood for. I mean, frankly, even the fact that we're all fenced up over here, I think they would be sick to their stomachs if they were here today to see all this with the fence and the cops and the guards. It's sad. But despite that, it's 4th of July, so I think people are celebrating and commemorating 1776, where the colonists won their independence. Thankfully, it's nice right now. It's been raining pretty hard on and off today, and it was super hot before, but it's very pleasant right now. And there's a lot of people here I think this is Independence Park, or Independence Square. I am really a dope. This guy's kind of got a Benjamin Franklin thing going. Excuse me, sir. Does anybody ever tell you look like Benjamin Franklin?
All the time.
It's a good look, man. Happy 4th of July. That is Benjamin Franklin right there. Oh, and this is cool. They got the Liberty Bell in here. I did a 3D, what was that for? I'm trying to remember. I've been in there and photographing the Liberty Bell in 3D way back in the day. But you can see it. It's like Liberty Bell under glass.
There's another window.
Oh, a better view?
We'll find out.
How you enjoying 4th of July, sir?
Pretty good, pretty good. I see you're all wired up.
Yeah. Do you live in Philadelphia? You mind if I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Happy 4th of July,
yeah,
sir.
Hey, how you doing?
You a native Philadelphian?
Yeah.
And how do you feel this 4th of July compared to previous ones?
Wonderful.
That's good.
Oh, sure. Wonderful.
Are you concerned at all about the loss of the First Amendment? How everybody's getting canceled on the internet for...
I don't know anything about that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Like when they, they had that news article in the New York Post about Hunter Biden smoking crack and having his laptop, and they kicked it off of Twitter.
About. I don't watch it because it just makes me upset. So I don't get upset. So I don't watch any of it.
I appreciate
so
that, sir.
I'm a bad.
No,
guy
not at
to
all.
Talk to.
I appreciate that, and I hope you enjoy the 4th of July.
Yeah, I am.
Thank you.
And I love the way you're all wired up. This is fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah.
You can't get electrocuted, can you?
Well,
Maybe.
I suppose I could, but not from this stuff.
Okay.
I hope not. But
Right,
have
going.
a lovely day.
Nice talking.
Thank you. You too. I really do like Philadelphia. There's a whole like New York, Philadelphia, Boston kind of thing where the accents are slightly different. The attitudes are somewhat similar. Ah, yes, here is another window into the Liberty Bell. Oh yeah, look, you can see it right in there. And this is a perfect spot to take your Instagram photos and check out the Liberty Bell. They moved it here. It wasn't always here. And here we can see a photo of it, or maybe it's some kind of, it's probably not a photo, some kind of like lithographic, something or other. Let's just see if we can just see that.
Liberty, they argue, just as the
There it
words on
is.
the bell suggested, must be for all. Men, women, and the disenfranchised and powerless, whoever and wherever they might be. In the 20th century, as political democracy spread around the globe, the bell gained wider meaning as a symbol for the international quest for freedom. Although no longer a functioning bell, the Liberty Bell has survived.
Oh, it's no longer a functional bell. I guess maybe they used to ring it. It kind of annoys me that Wells Fargo is right there. They are everywhere. Wells Fargo. Let's see how the chat is going. Anyway, yeah, so if people want to watch on Rumble, you can get, I think, a better Rumble experience by downloading the app. It adds a few nice features like, I've only tested it out on iOS, but you can, click off of the app and do other stuff, and the sound keeps playing in the background, which is nice. I appreciate that there are people who are creating apps to challenge the dominance of YouTube. I guess that's all we can do. They're not going to change their wicked ways. They just love squelching videos and striking videos. I got an email from YouTube the other day that Crowdsource the Truth 3 has received a strike, which is amazing because Crowdsource the Truth 3 was totally deleted by YouTube, I think, before I went on the road trip. And a lot of people are asking me for the road trip videos. I will put those back. It just takes a lot of time to go through all these videos and upload them and create new channels, and then people are striking them. I still have all the lawsuits going on. I do hope that people will visit crowdsourcethetruth.com and sponsor the Counter Lawfare Fund. I really do need your help in fighting all these corporate and individual bullies. And by the way, the dope that's suing me that I need to defend pro se is now agitating in the other lawsuit, so he's running up the bill, which has exactly been his intention the whole entire time. We can see all this nice stuff around Liberty Park, Liberty Square. I should know the name of this. It really is a beautiful day. And it's great to be here and beautiful to see Independence Hall. No, not Liberty Park. I think it's Independence Park. I'm a dope. I should know that. People in the chat will tell me, what is it? Here, somebody says, did you get your car back? Yes, Veronica. I got the car back and I drove here. Did I not tell people the story of the car? I believe what's happening, and I did actually just see an article today that Ford has closed several factories temporarily because of this chip shortage, right? I think a lot of people don't realize what's going on with China and Taiwan and Xi Jinping showing up with the Mao outfit and talking about how he's going to bash everybody's head in. That's kind of a big deal, particularly since our president, it makes me puke in my mouth to even say that, but the senile dude who is showing up on television all the time and sleeping in that White House, he's owned by China. So when Xi Jinping shows up on television and he's talking about how he's going to bloody skulls if anybody tries to, you know, whatever it is that he said, that is super bad. And also, I believe elsewhere, I saw that China had released some plan for what they're going to do with Taiwan. And I know a lot of people kind of hang out in their house and go to a barbecue, and everybody's got a lot of stuff to worry about. And I don't want to add to that, but I have some very serious concerns about what China plans to do relative to Taiwan and the impact that that will have on each and every one of us. Why am I talking about this when somebody asks me if I have my car back? Well, it's my understanding that it took so super long to fix my car because the plastic piece that was, broken from the accident, they didn't have it. Ford did not have it. So I called the Ford dealership that was working on it after like a month and a half and said, when's my car coming back? And they were like, I don't know, maybe a month. And I was like, what? I got really annoyed because I'm paying that car loan and I don't have the car and it's just sitting there, and they didn't seem to have any idea when it was going to get fixed. So I found the name of the woman who's the product manager for the Ford Escape, and I called her on her cell phone. And she was polite. Obviously, people are usually very interested in knowing how I got their cell phone numbers when I do something like that. But I have to say, Ford handled this so supremely. Within 3 days, they had the part over to the place that was fixing my car, and I got the car back, like right away, once Ford got involved. So I love this Ford Escape. I love the way Ford handled that. The woman who was the product manager was under 30, which was surprising to me for a company like Ford that's over 100 years old. And I think that that's a good sign that Ford is trying to remain competitive and make competitive products, and I think it's a great car. So the problem is, I think that probably the chemicals that are used to make plastic are coming from China. And there's an industry-wide, she said to me on the phone that this was a catastrophic and unprecedented disaster for the entire industry. So back to Xi showing up in his CCP, that Hillary Clinton outfit that he borrowed from her. So he seems to me to be saying, hey, we're going to go and do whatever the hell we want with Taiwan. And the problem is, we've been hearing a lot about these chip shortages. I don't think that had any impact on the fixing of my car, but we see how our country has become so dependent on China for manufacturing and for the basic materials that we need, even to make American cars. Ford can't make cars because chemicals from China make the plastic. That is terrible. But even worse, because I think you probably could tool up a chemical factory and get the plastic going and all that, it's the semiconductors. As I understand it, there are 3 semiconductor foundries operating in the world right now. One of them is owned by Intel and basically makes, i5 and i7 and i9 CPUs and whatever other CPUs Intel is making. And then one of them is owned by Samsung and is primarily focused on non-volatile random access memory, which is like when you buy an iPhone or a Samsung Galaxy S10 with 128 gigabytes of storage in there, where you might, download videos and whatever you're saving on your phone. Samsung is making mostly memory at their foundry. And so all the other semiconductors that we use that drive everything from, the engine control computer in every single car over here, the anti-lock braking thing in the car, the entertainment system, the fuel injection, all that stuff is using semiconductors that are manufactured by a company called Taiwan Semiconductor. And these foundries are super complicated factories that are making these microscopic things. Apple now is making CPUs at 5-micron pitch, meaning the circuits and the leads on the semiconductor, the transistors, are so super small. I don't know how 5 microns compares to a human hair, but it's crazy small, I'll tell you that. And the problem is, if China prevents Taiwan Semiconductor from sending semiconductors to the United States, or if they take over Taiwan or whatever, we're going to have no access to any of that stuff. And I do believe that Donald Trump was aware of this and made some kind of deal. I think Taiwan Semiconductor is opening a new foundry or building a new foundry, I think in Texas. I'm not sure, but they're making one in the United States. But the problem is it takes years to build these things and it's not ready yet. So that could be a very big problem. I hope it won't be. But I think everybody knows that stupid Joe Biden is barely capable of ordering an ice cream cone and relaying to you what flavor it is. So his ability to stop someone that's been paying him billions of dollars to be a dope seems limited to me, and that could be extremely bad. But I don't want to be negative on 4th of July. I want people to be festive and happy, and hopefully things can chill out. It's been a pretty hectic last year and a half, but we will be celebrating 4th of July tonight. I don't know that this particular live stream is we might not get to see any fireworks because, first of all, I have no idea where the hell they're going off. Maybe, probably right here in front of Independence Hall, right? But I don't know what time, and I don't even know where I'm going. So like walking around aimlessly, I feel a bit less confident in that here in Philadelphia than I would in New York, but people can sort of check out what's going on and see the streets. We did do a Ghost Town USA here in Philadelphia with Charles, and again, a lot of people have been asking me to put back the Ghost Town videos. I'm working on that. I'm trying to work out getting whole channels restored because, there's certain things that we spoke about on those channels, like medical stuff, like the lab leak and all that, which got strikes that now YouTube, not YouTube, but basically the world sort of realizes that, it could have come from a lab. That's possible. But doesn't matter. The YouTube channel is gone. So again, you can't debate ideas, even if you're a doctor or a scientist. You can't challenge whatever the WHO says because I guess Bill Gates tells them what's up and China tells them what's China. We generally trust China. And that's sort of that. This is the public ledger. There's so many buildings around that I don't even know what the hell they are. But this is the public ledger. And I think people know that Philadelphia has, I think it's the biggest, like the main Masonic lodge. I have no idea where it is relative to where I am right now, and I'm not gonna walk around and try to find it. But people can, maybe those videos are still, I think they're on BitChute. Agenda 2030, Chicky Rogue says. They don't want us to have cars. Well, that's why I got mine. I was worried that you might not be able to get a car, and I wanted to have it in case I needed to leave New York, and like if there was like a power outage or something like that. So we'll see how that goes. Yes, happy Independence Day, everyone, from Sweden, and happy 4th of July in Sweden. let's see, there's something else I was going to say that sort of slipped my mind. Let's see what else is around Independence Hall. I don't really know what we got there, but people who are in the local area, if you're in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, DC, it's a pretty short drive, to tell you the truth. It was only about an hour and 40 minutes to drive here from New York. And I think it's going to be a really fascinating and educational day, listening to Larry and all of the wonderful speakers that he's put together. Charles will be here, and it's going to be a great opportunity for people to meet some of their favorite independent news and just all kinds of different figures and people who you will be able to talk to and see the presentations, and maybe increase your understanding of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the formation of this country. Should be fun. There's not that many people here, I think in part because it was pouring rain earlier, and that's a drag, of course. But let's see what the chat is saying here. It's by City Hall. Yeah, no, I know that, but I haven't really. Thank you, Butler. I don't know where City Hall is relative to here, and also I've got limited battery power tonight. And with 76, yeah, we're already down to 56%. So it's not going to be, I think, the usual duration live stream that people are maybe used to getting. But boy, the sky looks great. Nothing like nice weather after a rainstorm. There's the park rangers over there. So those guys control the visitor center for Liberty Hall. And that is where, wait, that's not it. There's like a visitor center that we were in earlier setting up. I think that's it down there. But I'm really terrible about finding my way around. If it wasn't for GPS, I would probably still be in my apartment in New York. But the event space is beautiful. The event is going to be great. It's very secure. Larry has hired extremely professional security. No weapons are allowed. Nothing untoward is going to go on. It's going to be intellectual conversation about the history and philosophy of this country and its founders, and an exploration of how far we've moved away from that. I think that the founding fathers would be quite disgusted with Joe Biden. He's a moron. And how long until you can't say that on YouTube anymore? Joe Biden is a moron. Oh, and did people get to see the Donald Trump rally in Sarasota, Florida last night? That was impressive. I know I've said a lot of times that I've been disappointed in Trump and his failure to do a lot of the things that we really needed him to do while he was president, and I still am. I think he probably realizes now, all that crap about, oh, we can't prosecute Hillary Clinton because, that's like third world country stuff where you prosecute your political enemies, and then here we go, 6 months into President Stupid Joe's tenure, the New York Attorney General is going after the Trump Foundation, the Trump organization, sorry, not even the foundation. They already got the foundation. So I was watching some CNN or MSNBC nonsense, and they were going on and on about how serious this is, $1.7 million in tax evasion. And I'm not suggesting that that's not serious, but I have a feeling that what they're looking at is the type of thing that most companies do. And again, that doesn't make it okay, but it is curious that they are so aggressively pursuing all of these sort of, let's face it, 1.7 million is sort of a petty crime in the world of corporate crime, particularly when you consider the billions of dollars that have been laundered through the Clinton Foundation and nothing has been done. You've got to ask yourself, why is that? And it's frustrating because people who are on the opposite side of this debate, they're just so convinced that if you are a Trump supporter, you're a white supremacist and a terrorist and all of the things. There's the visitor center over there. And people are just being bombarded by, frankly, lies. This looks like a sketchy guy, so we'll keep the camera on him as I walk by. I'm not yet familiar with all of the sketch-tastic individuals around. We got some cops over there, that's good. Make sure nobody does anything stupid. There it is, yeah, that's the visitor center that we were in. Maybe I was looking at that earlier and didn't even realize it, but yeah, that's the visitor center where the event will take place. It has a beautiful view of Independence Hall. And you know, people can join us. There's still time to go to freedomwatchusa.org, purchase a ticket, and join us for the event tomorrow. It's going to be really a lot of fun. And I'm not making any money from it. I'm just promoting it because I think it's a good thing. And I will indirectly hopefully benefit by people watching it and then becoming sponsors on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. And I want to just give people a little bit of insight into what goes on. There are so many people who come after me on the internet using fake names and fake accounts, and they're constantly trying new things. When I come up with new ideas to thwart their ability to shut down Crowdsource the Truth by doing things like starting co-host channels like the Citizens Grand Jury YouTube channel, I hope that people will subscribe to that. The Sunday with Charles YouTube channel, I hope that people will subscribe to that. I don't mean to be asking people to subscribe to a million different YouTube channels, but this is just the best way that I've come up with to try to prevent them from being able to strike the YouTube channel and create all these situations where people say, oh, where is Sunday with Charles? Why is there no John Cullen this week? Where is David Hawkins? Where is Manny Grossman? Where are all these shows that I want to see? And so I've created all these sub-channels such that if somebody comes on and says something, you know, I'm not saying deliberately, sometimes people say things that they think are okay and YouTube doesn't, and the channel gets struck, I want to create these other alternative ways for people to see the shows and make it a little bit more difficult to just knock me off of YouTube. And definitely you can get those videos when they live stream to Subscribestar and Patreon. But I also want to let people know that there are people who are trying to infiltrate Patreon, and I've tried to, and Subscribestar. I've tried to make it as economical as possible for people to join. I'm not trying to, you know, railroad anybody, or that's not the right word. I don't want anybody to have to pay a lot of money to watch the show, but at the same time, I think everybody gets it. If I had been doing this for free, as so many people were demanding when I first started, I would have spent years doing this and just been knocked off of YouTube. None of these channels have been monetized for years. I would make no money. I'd have to find another job, and I'd just simply not be able to do it. So if you enjoy these shows, if you enjoy seeing different cities around the country and all these different sites and me kind of, you know, being a smart ass talking to people on the street or whatever it is you enjoy about the show, if you like putting in crappy comments. If you like putting in crappy comments, I'm not going to encourage you to become a sponsor, but if you enjoy the show, please do become a sponsor. And the problem that's happening is there are sometimes people who become sponsors specifically to agitate so that they can publicly post complaints like, oh, I subscribed and this and that happened and I'm canceling my subscription. There are some people who do that. And I'm not saying that the person who did that today did it deliberately. Sometimes people are having bad days. You've just paid for a sponsorship. You want to watch a video. You can't watch it. You got to go to bed. You got to go to work the next day. You get annoyed. I know how that feels. But please understand, there is no staff. I get a lot of emails from people saying, hey, I'd like to speak to Jason Goodman, please. Nobody answers my emails but me. There is no tech support department.
Yo guys, what's up everybody? I'm in Philly.
Get lost. Got a lot of shitheads walking around. So like, what would stop that guy from coming over and saying anything at all that could get the video struck? I don't think he knows who I am. He's just somebody being smart, trying to do something fun and stupid, but I just don't like people running up to me on the street acting like idiots, distracting me like that. In the same way, I don't like people putting crappy comments on YouTube. The second you start doing that, I begin evaluating, is this a real person having a bad day? Or is this someone who is trying to mess me up? And if you send me a direct message on Patreon or Subscribestar or an email or whatever on a Sunday, and you give me less than 24 hours to respond and resolve your issue before you start posting crap on YouTube, negative stuff about the experience that you're having, that's really not the behavior of a polite supporter of the show. That's a little bit more like the behavior of somebody who either has a terrible attitude and is a jerk, or wants to deliberately screw me up, and so please don't do that. If you're having a problem, I will do my best to resolve it. Anybody who ever feels like a problem is unresolvable and needs a refund, I give people refunds. Nothing, nothing catastrophic is going to occur. So just please be patient. If you are having any kind of problem, and frankly, there is nobody that I'm aware of who's ever had any kind of technical support problem that couldn't be resolved, because a lot of people want to be on the show. If they have something interesting to share, that's fine, but what's going on? That's kind of stupid. I don't really need that. But thank you anyway. So, I don't really know where else to go around here, and I don't want to get lost in Philadelphia, particularly not when the sun goes down. I think it's dangerous to be out in New York, so therefore it's probably dangerous to be out in Philadelphia. Jill Biden was around here. Jill, not Joe. Jill Biden was around earlier, and there was a lot of police activity. I don't know what she was doing. Here's the National Constitution Center. Do they have the Constitution in there? I think it's some copy of it is inside of Mount Rushmore. This guy looks like he knows a lot about it. You can tell by the hat.
The southern states said, we're not signing that. We're not signing that. That's bullshit. We want all those things back that were
Well, like I said, you walk around and people can say whatever they want. You never know when somebody's going to say something that might get you, in trouble with YouTube or whatever. Here's someone who looks like she's got something to say. Maybe not. Yeah, I think the visitor center is closed now. I'm not going to go into any of these buildings, obviously. That would be not the thing to do. And they're probably closed now anyway. Does anybody know? It's 8 o'clock. I wonder when these fireworks will begin. Does anybody watching know? Chicky Rogue says, Jill is just nasty. Doc Ninini says, troll. You talking about the guy I was talking about? Yeah. He might have been a troll. I think he was just a guy in a bad mood. But by the time we got to that, it was already too late. And thank you for thanking me for taking everybody to the cradle of freedom. I really hope we can get this country back to what it's supposed to be. Ketamine is saying woke revolution war empowered by big tech and big business. I really think that that's correct. And the thing is, the more I learn about the Fabian Society and Cecil Rhodes and the Rhodes Scholar Program and some of these like real wealthy British, whatever the hell they were, guys who had these like 200-year-long plans for how to recapture America. You really got to read the things that those guys wrote and those societies wrote. The Fabian Society is still around now. And I believe it was the Fabian Society that said that Canada was going to be an important part of doing this. And now we've got all this stuff with that Dr. What is her name? Qui-Gon Shu? Or some very strange first name that I can't pronounce. That's the doctor that the Royal Canadian Mounted Police escorted out of Canada's only BSL-4, Biosafety Level 4 microbiology lab, the National Microbiology Lab in Winnipeg. And now, for the past several weeks, some pretty angry members of Parliament in Canada have been screaming at that guy, I forget his name, the head of Public Health Canada, who is supposed to tell Parliament what happened to that doctor and her husband, because now apparently nobody knows where they are. And she was taking samples and she was going to Wuhan, and even when Justin Trudeau was there in Parliament, if people didn't see that, look it up on YouTube. He is like such a dope. I can't stand Justin Trudeau, and he is I don't like these situations where we have the father as the president and the son as the president. We were guilty of that in the United States with Bush. I don't understand why people stood for that. This country was founded to escape monarchies and dynasties, not to create them. And I mean, certainly that's what the Clintons wanted to do with Hillary. Joe says, did you see Vermont canceled fireworks and is having African drums and dance? Well, Terega says fireworks here in an hour or so. I don't know if the battery will last that long. Yes, John E. Hoover. John Cullen in the chat. Dr. Shangu Chu. That's who I'm talking about. Well, right, Terega. Vermont doing that seems like a pretty stupid thing to do, and canceling fireworks is terrible. Joe Biden canceled fireworks at Mount Rushmore. So what's up with that? Hey, that guy had the Eye of Horus painted on his very loud Ford Fusion right there. The Eye of Horus is pretty interesting. Philly is the home of original corruption, Lady Katie says. I believe that. Yeah, people should definitely subscribe to the John Cullen Investigates channel. That is a channel that I created where I have placed John Cullen's appearances on Crowdsource the Truth. You should also subscribe to the I Am John Cullen YouTube channel. And on Rumble, you can now subscribe to I Am John Cullen on Rumble. So I hope people will get onto Rumble because it's a great alternative to YouTube and it's getting much better. You know, they added, that's Comcast headquarters. I've been up in that building back in the day when we were talking about doing, everybody was interested in 3D for a brief moment, including Comcast. But Rumble has been really building itself up. They've got the app now, they've got live streaming now, so that's really good. The problem is when you're not on YouTube with a big audience, and we're seeing it, each month, just due to credit card cancellations and maybe people moving and financial situations changing, there's a certain amount of attrition on Patreon and Subscribestar. A certain number of people just naturally go away. And when we had all the big YouTube channels kick in with 100,000 subscribers and 20,000 subscribers, a lot of new people got to see the videos, and there was, a good flow of new subscribers coming in. And the social engineers, whether they work at YouTube or not, perhaps they're just sending complaints to YouTube about things and bringing these videos to their attention, which I do believe is happening, because frequently the videos will exist in several places, and this is another good experiment that I sort of did without even really knowing it. When I created these sub-channels, we've got the videos in multiple places, so it stands to reason that if something were automatically detected by some awesome artificial intelligence, I like that Ben Franklin painting. If something was automatically detected by YouTube artificial intelligence, it would seem like it would delete it from every location that it's in, because it would sort of like search all of YouTube and find the thing and delete it. But when it only gets deleted from a channel with a lot of subscribers, it kind of gives me the impression that someone out there, maybe smelling his own disgusting feet in a disgusting RV in between typing pleadings, I don't know who that might be, but it seems like that guy or somebody prompted by that guy is contacting YouTube specifically about specific videos to get them struck and removed. And it is amazing to me that an adult person who has all of the challenges of day-to-day life would have time to sit around in his stinky RV where he should be contemplating his pathetic life, but instead he's striking my videos, he's trying to intervene in lawsuits, he's trying to do all these things. Why is this person so obsessed with me? He'll say that I defamed him or something like that, but I didn't even know who this guy was until he started messing with me. The point of the matter is, he seems to be agitating YouTube. And it is a vexing problem. So I'm trying to come up with ways to get around that, and some of them are successful, some of them less so. But the best thing for people to do if they want to help me combat lawfare, if they want to help me combat trolls on the internet, is to become a sponsor on subscribestar.com/crowdsource the truth, or patreon.com/crowdsource the truth. You're going to get a constant flow of videos. All these people who are contacting me and saying, where have you been for months? I haven't seen a video from you. If you're a sponsor, you're still getting the videos, because even when I create a new YouTube channel, that YouTube channel is putting the videos onto Subscribestar and Patreon, and you're going to get access to a huge library of sponsor-exclusive videos with all of the great co-hosts that are on Crowdsource the Truth each week. So it's a great way for people to do that, to support the show. You know, you can also go to crowdsourcethetruth.com and become, this is an older, no, actually, you know what? That's from Patrick Byrne assaulting me at the Mike Lindell event. Two dopes right over there. And then a lot of people also like to contact me, well, you know, Dope Lindell is not a crackhead, and he's a patriot, and he's doing this and that. I'm sorry, he's a dope, plain and simple. You can go to crowdsourcethetruth.com. There's a new video up on there now, but that was a good one, Bedtime for Biden. And if you scroll down past the current video, you'll see all these options for sponsoring the Counter Lawfare Fund. And the thing that's great about this is my legal bill is getting huge. It absolutely exceeds the amount of money that I'm earning. So if you want to help me fight this lawfare, you can select one of those sponsorship levels, and the really great benefit for you is that you're going to get a year's subscription, and as you go up through the higher sponsorship levels, you're going to get gift subscriptions for family members and friends. And I think it's important that we expose this lawfare. There is a sponsor exclusive video on there right now that I just did the other day with my lawyer in NATAS v. MSD. That's my lawyer, John Snyder, and we were looking at what appears to be corruption in the Eastern District of Michigan. Now, this is real serious. This is something that I'm going to actively pursue with the judge in Michigan, because I've now spoken to other judges and other lawyers who confirm that what's been done, if I'm correct, if the evidence, unless I'm missing something, this guy's done something that you're not allowed to do. And so if we've got now people entering into, I don't know if it's criminal, but certainly doing things that would risk their jobs, doing things that are direct violations of protocol, why are they doing that? Why are they so aggressively attempting to do these things? I don't have the answer yet, but I want to find it, I'm going to find it, and I can't do it without your help. I couldn't be here without all you guys. So if you're watching the show and you're not a sponsor, now would be a great time to become one. That Liberty Bell is popular. Ah, here's this guy again.
That was an idea that the National Park Rangers came up to make this a tourist attraction.
I would think there would be more people at the Liberty Bell on 4th of July.
Coming here a year. And anytime I do this tour, we inevitably have a couple guys on the tour. And they're like, okay, it said vampires, sex, and goes, when we get into the sex, come on, let's move it. All right, the sex is coming next.
Vampire sex has something to do with the...
Yeah, it's history here in Philadelphia.
How do people find your tour? Because I think I want to hear about...
GrimPhillyTours.com, and
what's the vampire sex about? I never heard about that.
we have a tie-in with vampires here in Philadelphia. You come take the tour, and we'll tell you about
I definitely
that.
want to hear about that.
Sure.
Say the name again of the website.
It's called GrimPhillyTours.com, and
Can I email you if I go to that website? I'm Jason. What's your name?
Terry.
Terry? All right, can I email you from that website?
No, you would have to email my boss.
Okay, but
And
I want to find out about that
They
vampire.
sell tickets for the tours right over there at the Visitor Center.
Where is the Masonic Temple from here?
The Masonic Temple,
Is
it's
it
up
far?
there near City Hall.
Is that a
It's
far
right
walk?
across City Hall going north.
How long do you think it would take to walk there?
About 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how fast you walk.
All right, cool. Thanks very much.
My pleasure.
Happy
Grim
4th of
Philly
July.
Tours.
Grim Philly Tours. Interesting. Vampire sex, I find that dubious. I don't know. Well, but it's intriguing for sure.
And we printed the medal's inscription, bringing it to public attention.
There's a lot of interesting people you can talk to walking around Philadelphia. I have no idea what that guy is talking about. But I also feel like if I start walking 15 minutes, it's going to be dark, I'm going to get lost, and we're down to 30% battery power, so that doesn't seem like it's going to work. If anybody knows about what Terry was talking about with vampire sex in Philadelphia, lawless courts, somebody says, never appeared in my Twitter feed, even though I follow. That's not surprising, D, but that's the kind of thing that's going on. It's really hard to imagine that Twitter cares about me. You know what happens is, there was that guy, what's his name? I don't even remember his name. He runs Bot Sentinel, which he says is, all these people who say, oh, we're monitoring activity on Twitter. They are the ones who are up to no good, using, swarming accounts who get a lot of people. Like, I never have had more activity on a tweet than when that idiot started pointing out my tweets. And he doesn't have that many more Twitter followers than I do, but I'll tell you what, a lot of them react and they swarm, and it's amazing. I mean, that is social engineering, and they use these tools. That Bot Sentinel, I saw something about it on the Rand Corporation's website, and if people want to look into the Rand Corporation, that's a sketchy, sketchy thing. Think tanks, that's what I meant to talk about when we were talking about the Fabian Society. That was a think tank, like the Council on Foreign Relations. Council on Foreign Relations was created by the Rockefellers. And remember, the Rockefellers, they ran Standard Oil and were selling certain kind of airplane fuel, aviation fuel to the Nazis during World War II. Why would they do that? Why would the US government allow an American company to sell a critical strategic resource to our enemy? Why not just cut that off? It's kind of the same idea as letting China make all the semiconductors and then getting to a point where it's like, oh no, we have no semiconductors. Frankly, that's stupid. So I guess that's why we needed President Stupid, to be in charge of all the stupidity. Anyway, really the purpose of today's video was to tell everybody about Freedom Watch and the Third Continental Congress that's going to be happening tomorrow. You still have time to go to freedomwatch.org, Freedom Watch USA, freedomwatchusa.org, and to sign up. Get a ticket, come to Philadelphia. If you are a peacefully minded, intellectual individual who wants to understand what's going on, improve your knowledge, improve your understanding of the history of the country and the formation of, is this video playing or what? I think sometimes when I play a video once, I think that's it. It won't play again. It's something I'm always learning stuff about how this system works. Anyway, I'm already fairly lost as far as where I need to go back to. Oh, look at that, Red Owl Tavern. People love to drive around in their Maseratis, making all kinds of noise. The Red Owl Tavern is an interesting thing. I'm really just vamping at this point, but let's see what else anybody else is saying in the chats here. CFR, Huffman Aviation. Yes, the CFR. Very bad news, the CFR. I don't understand why presidents would listen to something that Henry Kissinger and a bunch of dopes over there might tell them. I bet you these cops know when the fireworks are happening. Let's ask them. Hi guys, is there going to be a fireworks display here tonight?
No, they're going to be at the Art Museum.
The Art Museum?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of far away from here, isn't it?
Yeah, that's going to be kind of far away.
Okay.
That's the only place I know where they're...
Do they normally have it here or no?
No. Usually
Okay.
if they're going to have it, it's going to be at the Art Museum by Ben Franklin Parkway, or possibly at the Delaware River, but the only place, like Penn's Landing area, but the only area that I know for sure this year they're having it is by the Art Museum.
Was Jill Biden over here before?
Jill Biden was.
And what'd she say? Anything interesting?
I wasn't even here.
All right, well, thanks.
All right, no problem. Have a good night.
But
You-
she did. She was here this morning.
What do you think about Jill Biden?
Oh, I can't go into it, man. I'm working.
I hear you. Take it easy, man. I like that answer. Very diplomatic. That guy's running for mayor. I do like walking around and talking to people. You get interesting insights into things. Now, I feel like this is exactly where I was walking before. So, anyway, I think that might be it for tonight, everybody. Make sure you make your way over to freedomwatchusa.org. Yeah, Rand. We've got to find out more about the Rand Corporation. They have a building in Santa Monica, right near the beach. Go to Google Earth and put in the Rand Corporation in Santa Monica, California, and get right above it and look down, you know, plan view, like bird's eye kind of view, and take a look at that building. It's shaped like an eyeball, and the pupil or the iris, maybe that's the same thing. It is a checkerboard. That means nothing, I'm sure. That's just a clever design. But I do not trust the Rand Corporation, and they had a write-up of that bot Sentinel thing. I happen to know the guy who runs that is an absolute scumbag, and he did a lot of stuff to crap all over my Twitter account. And then, where did I see this? Maybe Gateway Pundit was saying that the government is actually secretly telling these social media things who to ban and what to do. That kind of makes a lot of sense. Maybe they're operating through these think tanks like the Rand Corporation and the CFR, because if the Constitution says the government can't do X, Y, and Z, it doesn't necessarily say that a private company can't. And if the people in the government just hide their connections to or influence over those type of things, they can do a lot of crappy stuff. And we know they love doing that. Happy Independence Day. Now, this person who shows up as Larry Clark, is that your real name, Larry? Because I know somebody named Larry Clark. There is somebody named Larry Clark. And I actually was speaking about him not that long ago. He directed that movie, Kids. And I did a 3D shoot with that guy one time in LA. I was hired by a company that was working with him, and I didn't know anything about him. I didn't even know that he had directed that movie until after that shoot, but I don't think you're him. Maybe you are. Yes. Thanatian OG says Masonic symbolism. Exactly. 33, all that. They always use the number because 1/3 of angels fell from heaven. Wow, I didn't know that. That's the first time I've heard that. I thought it had to do with Jesus dying at age 33 and 33rd degree Masons, but that's interesting. See, I love this about Crowdsource the Truth, because everybody knows something. You know, you don't have to be a politician or a lawyer or a doctor. You know, people know all these little things. And when we can put them together, we can collectively become a whole lot smarter. I gotta say, I think that is part of what my detractors dislike about Crowdsource the Truth, is that it's just so effective at helping people get smarter that they don't want that. So I bear the brunt of it in terms of defending lawsuits and getting approached by, you know, strange people who are sometimes intimidating on the street and all that kind of stuff. But I do enjoy this. I do enjoy being able to bring people these sights and sounds from around the country and around the world, although I'm not going back on a plane until they figure out what the hell they're doing with the coronavirus. Let's go in here. It seems like you can freely do that. I don't even know what this is, but look at it. Pretty cool, right? This is like old Philadelphia to me, I think. I mean, has this changed much since? Let's see what this is. New Hall Military Museum. Doesn't look that new. This is the Military Museum. But this is nice. This is, you know, it's interesting. You think about it, you walk around here, the founding fathers of the country were all, you know, doing their thing in these buildings. I was reading something about George Washington earlier, because, you know, they have all these booklets and things that they're giving out about the, you know, signing the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and all that stuff. Here we go. Perfect place for me to come. The First Continental Congress. Let's see, we got 26%. So it says, the distinctions between Virginians, Pennsylvanians, New Yorkers, New Englanders are no more. I am not a Virginian, but an American. Yeah, that's good. Oh, look, and they're standing right outside this building. This is an artist's conception of Virginia delegate Patrick Henry in the center, conferring with Massachusetts delegates John Adams and Samuel Adams outside Carpenter's Hall. In a letter to his wife, Abigail, John Adams wrote, "There is in Congress a collection of the greatest men upon this continent in point of abilities, virtues, and fortunes." So in 1774, the American colonies felt threatened. Their grievances against Great Britain were being ignored. Kind of sounds like right now what's happening here, but not to Great Britain, it's Dumb Joe. Was it finally time for resistance, or was reconciliation still possible? The First Continental Congress met here in Carpenter's Hall in the autumn of 1774 to choose a course of action, led by John and Sam Adams and inspired by the fiery speeches of Patrick Henry. Representatives of the colonies united to defend American rights. They appealed to the king and the British people to repeal unjust laws and taxes. They condemned the closing of the port of Boston and pledged not to trade with Britain. We should do that with China. Before adjourning, the Congress resolved that another Congress be held in the following May if their grievances were not redressed. By the time the Second Continental Congress convened, blood had already been shed at Lexington and Concord. Wow. That is almost as if I was guided in here by something more powerful and with more knowledge than me, because I had no idea that this is where the Continental Congress took place. But that is super appropriate given what's going to be happening tomorrow. And I mean, you know what? I feel guided by that. I think the Third Continental Congress should be where we, address these grievances and demand. Oh, look at that bird. Demand that they, do the things that need to be done. Repeal these unjust laws, restore the First Amendment. I can be careful what I talk about, but restore the First Amendment is the first order of business as far as I'm concerned. We should be able to talk about whatever we want. Robust debate. Isn't that the point of the First Amendment? Not so a bunch of, just out of puberty billionaire jackasses who run websites can tell us what we can and cannot talk about. Oh yeah, so Solemn is saying they found 17 bodies under Franklin's house, the Hellfire Club. I want to learn more about that. That's incredibly weird. 17 is another one of these numbers that seems to come up all the time. I think people in the audience will know better than me why that is and what that means. Not just the 17th letter of the alphabet. Well, anyway, that guy confirmed that I'm nowhere near where the fireworks are. I'm not going to go over to the art museum. I do really like that art museum. We did a 3D shoot over there too. Let me think. That was the same shoot because it was all about Philadelphia. They had the Rocky statue there at that time, but I think it's moved somewhere. I don't know how people can drive around with their radio that loud in the car. Did I tell people that when I got my car, I took the whole thing apart and lined the doors and the cargo part and the whole thing with butyl rubber and closed cell foam to make it like super, not soundproof, but super quiet ride in there. I highly recommend it. I actually did video record a fair portion of that process, and I had this idea of creating another YouTube channel called Escape from New York about my Ford Escape and escaping New York in it. And I was going to make it totally different content than Crowdsource the Truth, because I think that might be much more difficult to strike. It seems like you can make videos about cars and modifying cars and putting sound dampening equipment in cars all day long without upsetting the whoever's. But I don't know if people who watch Crowdsource the Truth would care about that channel very much. So anyway, that was an awesome little interlude into the this. And I do hope that people will join us for the Third Continental Congress. And maybe Larry will schedule a fourth at the end of it. I gotta say, there's a lot to be learned. Larry is extremely smart, constitutional law, and just the law in general. And there's a lot of people who are gonna be there tomorrow. I'm excited to meet Sheriff Joe. It was wonderful to meet Charles Woods earlier today. As I mentioned, Gold Star father. Robust debate, exactly. Freedom of information. John Brennan will continue to hate. I don't know what the last part of that, I can't really read it without tripping. Trying to walk around and avoid. Doggy do. Definitely try a cheesesteak. Yeah, it strikes me as the type of thing that would make my stomach very upset. A cheesesteak. I would like a cheesesteak, but if I was going to do a cheesesteak, I was actually discussing this with Larry earlier. If I was going to do a cheesesteak, I would probably want to cook it myself and find out what kind of meat they use and what kind of cheese they use and get like good quality piece of meat and cook it not in some grease that's been sitting around for days. I would like a cheesesteak, but I feel like probably the places that I see that are making cheesesteaks look like pretty greasy, grungy. I'm definitely getting lost over here. Oh, low battery. Okay, well, anyway, I think it was a nice walk around here in Philadelphia, very appropriate for the Third Continental Congress tomorrow. Somebody says you could do that on a video site called Haps. What is Haps? I don't know Haps. Is that a new video platform? Betta likes it when I get expressive with my disdain towards enemies of the state. Well, we're in a real dire condition here. I mean, I certainly never thought that it would come to this where you'd have to really bite your tongue with public expression of, you know, just legal things that you're supposed to be able to say. Remember when I was a kid, like in elementary school, you'd get an argument, they'd be like, it's a free country, I can say what I want. I wonder if little kids say that now. And I mean, I wonder if it is a free country, because it's kind of not. We've all been locked in our houses for a long, long time. Yeah, Lady Katie thinks exactly like I do, exactly. I cook it or else I don't really trust it. That's kind of how I feel. Okay, I gotta turn this phone off and use the GPS, but thanks for watching, everybody. I really do hope people will go to freedomwatchusa.org and sign up for a ticket for the Third Continental Congress. It's starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. here at Independence Hall. Please also become a sponsor of Crowdsource the Truth. I can't keep doing these trips without your support and sponsorship. Go to subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. You're going to enjoy a huge library of sponsor-exclusive content, and it allows me to keep making these videos without sending more money to Google and YouTube and all that. You can also get us on rumble.com/user/CS the Truth, or just search for Crowdsource the Truth or CS the Truth on Rumble. Have a great night, everybody, and happy 4th of July. I hope you're able to enjoy some fireworks and some barbecues and your family and whatever it is you want to enjoy. Thanks for watching, everybody.